All right, welcome back to Shameful Locks here. We are here for NFL Week 16. We're recording here on a Friday, a little before noon here. It's 11:36 here on the Eastern Coast. Last night, there was some Thursday Night Football we've got to discuss. We've got to go over some recapping of last week, which was a piss poor week all around. We had our Supreme Leader filling in for Blake while he had his finals, and nobody did well. Nobody did well. I hope you did better on your finals than we did last week, Blake. No, that's what we like to hear. But let's start with some Thursday night football recapping. Last night, the Saints went to play the Rams in LA, and the Rams. I feel like it was a pretty dominant game, but if you look at the score, it looks like it's a lot closer than I feel like the game actually was. I think the final score was like 28-20 or something like that.
I think it was 30-22.
Nah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Stafford's back. Earlier in the season, he wasn't him. He was kind of bad on some injuries, but he's back. Some of the throws he made were Patrick Mahomes like or whatever that they all say about that. But he's back, and I think the Rams are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, again, I think we were watching together last night, and I was saying if my team was in the playoffs, which hopefully we don't because we suck, but hypothetically, if my team played the Rams in the playoffs. I wouldn't want to play them because I think they could easily pull an upset off somebody who is unexpected, I guess is the proper term there. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good game last night. Enjoyable. Had a good time watching it. But we've got some recapping to do, unfortunately. We're very transparent on this show, even when we suck. Like you'll see here in a minute, we sucked last week. So we'll start on the left, which is with Blake. So he had Steelers money line against the Colts. Looked great. I was watching from the airport. Yeah, it looked great for 20 seconds. And it was the 20 seconds of the game I didn't watch. I was flying back to Ohio, and when the plane's starting up, you don't get to watch TV or whatever until the plane's up in the air. I turned on the game once we're up in the air. It's 13-0. And then the Colts scored 30 straight. We fucking suck. But yeah, that didn't go well. Your winner of the week was Hawkinson, over 51.5 receiving yards, which that got real sweaty because that didn't cash. It ended up you needed it to cash in overtime, which ended up hitting, but real sweaty.
Yeah.
And then your lock of the week. We'll talk about it. I know you don't want to here, but I think you're going to be banned from betting Derrick Henry. I think that's a self-imposed ban you're putting on yourself. You had Derrick Henry over 66.5 rushing yards. I think he had like 15.
Not even, dude. I mean, he had like 16 or 18 carries for like 10 yards. Like
that's nuts.
It's a shame, but I mean, I've been cold lately, and that's on me. I don't want to make any excuses, but the last 2 weeks were really busy. So I'm looking to bounce back here. I've been in the lab. I think I got some really good picks this week that I like a lot. But yeah, just a bad week. I banned from Derrick Henry, and I banned from Steelers just because I'm way too loyal. So I can't do it anymore. Not for the sake of the show. So
I don't blame you. But unfortunately, you did lose 1.17 units last week. You're now sitting at 25-20 on the season. So you're still up on the year. You're up 2.82 units on the season. Again, I wouldn't say that's bad. That's still better than me. And then you are 7-4 on your Shameful Locks. Ice cold on those recently, but that's okay. You're still, again, positive on them. I have a better record than me. So speaking of teams we're not going to bet on anymore, we'll get to my locks. I also went 1-2. Fuck the Falcons and Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith is dog shit. I hate him. I hate the Falcons. Screw you. I'm not betting on the Falcons the rest of the year or any game that they're involved in. I bet Falcons minus 2.5 last week, and then they lost to the Panthers. Embarrassing. I hate the Falcons. I don't know how much more I could say how much I hate them. I'll probably say it again. I hate the Falcons. But then I had my player prop of the week, which was a new market that any of us have ever done. I did Jahmyr Gibbs over 13.5 on his longest rush of the day. And I think he like crushed it over like second or third carry. He had a 20-yard gain. Mm-hmm. So that was a hit for me. And then my lock of the week was a two-legger same game parlay, or not same game parlay, just a two-legger. It was Gibbs and Najee Harris to rush for 45 yards. Gibbs crushed it. I think he had like 60 or 80 or something like that. And then Najee sucked just like the Steelers do. So again, damn it. But yeah, anyway, I ended up losing 1.2 units on the week. I am now sitting at a 20, 24, and 1, minus 4.68 units. It stinks that I'm this far into the season, still below, but all it takes is one sweep, and I'm right in the swing of things. So hopefully we can get that sweep for me this week. I'm sitting at 6-5 on my best bets or my Shame-ful Locks. So that's good. I'm still above 500 there. Our supreme leader, he's not here, but I'll recap his picks real quick. He had Giants money line, L. He didn't eat a chicken cutlet sandwich, he told me. So that's probably why they didn't win. That's 100% on him. He had Jake Browning over 240.5 passing yards. That was a W. And then he had Browns -3, and that looked dead in the water. And then again, the Browns came back and won by 3. So he actually got a push. So Tim went 1-1-1 last week for a total of minus 1.3 units. Tim, our supreme leader, is now sitting at 3-2-2. Some have taken the liberty of calling him the push god recently, as he is 0-2 in his Shame-ful Locks, just having 2 pushes on all his locks, or his best bets. He is now sitting at positive 0.6 units, which, you know what, if you know him, he's probably actually pretty happy about that, considering last year's routing for him. But enough recapping. We've got we're going to move on here to this week. We've got week 16 to talk about. And Blake, I want you to start. I did a lot of talking just now.
All right, we can do that. So I'm going to start with my game pick for the week. And this is Clash of the Titans right here. I have 49ers -5 versus the Ravens, and I got that at -110 on DraftKings. So I don't really think it's a debate right now. The 49ers are the best team in football. I think they have probably the best offense, the best defense. They have MVP candidates, I think, on both sides of the ball, honestly. They're coming off a huge win against the Cardinals. They hung up like 45 on them. And on the other side, you have the Ravens. They just beat the Jaguars, but I think that game was a lot closer than the score tells it, because they missed a field goal in the first half. I think they missed one in the second half. They messed up right before halftime. The Jags did, and they should have got points. But to be honest with you, I think the Ravens are good. They might finish with the first round bye in the AFC, but I don't think they're good enough to compete with the 49ers. I just think the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. I think they're going to run the table. And the 49ers have only lost one game at home this year, and that was to the Bengals, I believe. So obviously they're really good at home. And I think the 49ers honestly might blow out the Ravens. I just don't think the Ravens really match up well against 49ers.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are definitely overrated. Like I said last week, I think if the Jaguars didn't stab themselves in the foot a billion times, they easily win that game. They left a lot of points on the board.
Yeah.
It's in San Fran too. I just don't see San Fran losing this game. I could see them winning by like 10 or possibly being like a blowout.
Yeah.
Probably be on freezing cold takes for that one, but go Niners here.
Yeah.
All right, I'll jump over to my game pick now. And I'm going with just hopefully this one is too easy for me. I hope, please. I'm going to Chiefs -9.5. The original line is -10, but I don't want any more pushes, so I altered it down a little bit to get it down. I got this at -120 on ESPN bet. The Chiefs play the Raiders this week in Kansas City. They've already beat the Raiders a few weeks ago. They won 31-17, so they already covered this 9.5 when they played them in Vegas. I think the Chiefs are going to try to flex their muscles because they had that really tough stretch where they lost like 3 games in a row. They're coming off a win against the crappy Patriots. I think they won that game by 17 or 14 or something like that. I'm just taking the better team, I think, here. I think that they're going to come out here, and since they're playing crappier competition, they want to show like, hey, we could probably do this against better teams. Let's see, like, go run up the score, especially because it's a division rival too. I know they hate Vegas. Vegas probably not playing for much right now. I don't even know if they're still starting Aiden O'Connell. I heard that was up in the air. Or they could possibly go back to Jimmy G this week, which probably not a good idea, but they don't have a lot of options. But yeah, give me Chiefs by 10 this week.
Yeah, I like that pick. I was considering that before you took it, but yeah, for some reason Patrick Mahomes always plays well against the Raiders, and I think that's mostly because they always try to get in Patrick Mahomes' head,
Mhm.
especially Max Crosby. So I think he always, kicks it into an extra gear, and yeah, flicks their muscles on the Raiders a little bit, and get that offense going for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think the Chiefs definitely own the Raiders too.
Hmm.
I think the Raiders have beaten them like one out of the last 10 times they played or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so let's move on to our player props. So I got a guy who he's having a great year for the Lions. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown over 78.5 receiving yards, and I got that at -114 on FanDuel. So I mean the Lions offense, they're absolutely buzzing right now. They got weapons. They probably have some of the best weapons in the NFL in the running back position. And then of course at wide receiver with Amon-Ra St. Brown. So he had 112 yards last week, but the 2 weeks before that, I think he was limited to like under 50 yards in each game. So I think he's about to start a stretch of multiple 100 receiving yards games in a row, like he had earlier in the season. To start the year, out of the first 8 games, 6 of those he had 100 plus yards. So I think that the way the offense for the Lions is playing right now, and Jared Goff, he's throwing the ball pretty well right now, and they play the Vikings, and the Vikings have a dome and they have turf. And historically, with this Lions offense, they're a lot better on turf than they are on grass. They're just a lot faster. And yeah, they're just better for whatever reason since grass is a little slower. But I think Amon-Ra is going to crush this line. The Vikings pass defense is bottom 10 in the league. So yeah, I think the Lions are going to get buzzing here. So
Nice. I realized as we're going on here that a lot of our picks kind of coincide with each other. You'll see as we go on. Like I like the Lions this week. I like the Chiefs this week. You also like the Chiefs this week. You'll see later on. But yeah, I like the Lions a lot this week. I don't think much of the Vikings. I think that the Lions are kind of, and it's a rivalry game too, big rivalry game. I think the Lions are going to go out there and try to dominate like they have done. All right, so I'll go over to my player prop of the week. I'm stealing this one from Tim last week, which he cashed last week. So hopefully I can go ahead and cash it as well. I'm going to Jake Browning over 232.5 passing yards. He is playing our beloved Steelers this week, who suck. But yeah, let's get to Jake Browning. He is the backup quarterback for the Bengals, filling in for Joe Burrow, and he's really good, which is weird. He's crushed this line of 232.5 in 3 of his last 4 games, going in 3 straight. And those games where he's gone over, he's crushed it by at least like 40 to 50 yards every game. So hopefully he can go ahead and keep passing against our shitty ass secondary. We don't have Minka, we don't have KZ, who's suspended for the season. Probably going to throw Patrick Peterson back in the mix, and when Patrick Peterson's back there, I mean, barbecue chicken alert.
yeah, barbecue chicken. Yeah, I mean honestly, that should be an easy win. The Steelers secondary is terrible besides Joey Porter Jr. And I mean, Browning's been playing pretty well. I mean, that makes me think, is Joe Burrow a system quarterback? I don't think so, but just funny to think about. But yeah, I like that pick. Steelers suck right now. Yeah, I will not be taking Steelers money line. So that's never again. So
Yeah, I also want to note that the Bengals do not run the ball a lot. None of us think highly of Mixon, but they do not give him a lot of carries either. And I just don't expect them to against the Steelers.
Yeah.
So hopefully they keep airing it out. And I would like the Steelers to win. That would be cool. But I mean, we're just not playing for much, and we look piss poor, to be honest.
Okay. So we're gonna get into our shameful lock portion of the show right now. I started off 7 wins straight, and then now I'm on a 4 losing streak, 4-week losing. So I like this pick a lot. It's a guy who I think can dominate both passing and running the ball, and that is Justin Fields over 261.5 passing plus rushing yards. And I got that at -115 on DraftKings. So Justin Fields, he's gone over this mark in 6 of 10 games this year that he's played. But one of the games that he didn't hit that mark, he got hurt. So realistically, it's 6 of 9, 67% of the time. Arizona defenses, they suck. They're really bad. They have the second worst rush defense, and they have the fifth worst pass defense. So they just give up yards to basically anybody. They're pretty bad. Justin Fields is kind of an interesting spot in his career right now. He's trying to prove himself to the Bears that he can be their franchise quarterback, but he's also trying to prove to the NFL that if it doesn't work out with the Bears, that he can go somewhere else, be a starting quarterback, and hopefully take that team to the playoffs, which I think it'd be a mistake if the Bears got rid of him. So I think Justin Fields is going to try to play his best regardless of the outcome. Then the Bears are playing at home, and for some reason, Justin Fields is a lot better playing at home than he is on the road. He's gone over this mark every home game except the one he got hurt in. So for some reason, he plays really well at home in front of Chicago fans. So yeah, I think Justin Fields is going to have a great game, and I think he might kill this mark.
Yeah, and you know me, I'm a diehard Field supporter, so I love that pick. I don't think much of the Cardinals defense, and like I said, I think every game from here on out is an audition to prove to the next team that he plays on if the Bears don't keep him, which I think it's still a 50-50 coin flip. If they finish out winning out, they'll probably keep him. If they don't do so hot down the stretch, they'll probably get another quarterback. Yeah, but yeah, right. I like that pick. And it's my turn now for my shameful lock of the week. And you know me, I can't just do one leg. I always do a little two-legger here. But yeah, I'm sticking to the theme here, and I'm going to two teams just to win. I'm keeping it simple this week. I'm going to Lions money line, and I'm taking Broncos money line. I got this at plus 115 on DraftKings this week, and I'll tell you why I like it. So, like Blake already mentioned with the Lions, they're playing the Vikings this week, and I don't think much of the Vikings. I know it's in Minnesota, but I just think the Lions are a better team, and they really want to clinch their division. I think if they win, they clinch their division, or at least get very close to it. So I think the Lions will come out here and definitely have a lot to play for. I know the Vikings are just trying to stay alive. I have Nick Mullins at quarterback, who I don't think much of. He sucked last week against the Bengals. They were winning, and then he threw two terrible interceptions. So not high on the Vikings right now, and I think the Lions dominate like they have been. And then my second leg here is Broncos money line. I'm going to knock on wood here. I think this is just a free leg. It's minus 300 by itself. They play the Patriots in Denver, and the Patriots suck. They've got nothing to do. This will probably end up being a low-scoring game, but hopefully the Broncos can pull out a 16-10 win over the Patriots. That's what I'm expecting. I just really don't think much of them, and I think the Patriots are done for. I think they're cooked. Well, the Broncos, again, these are one of those matchups I love to look for, is try to find, okay, which team sucks versus, has nothing to play for versus a team that still has a lot to play for. The Broncos are still trying to get into that wild card mix in the AFC.
Yeah, I think the Lions will take care of the Vikings. I think that game might be a little close, but I think they'll take care of them. Then the Broncos, they're pretty hard to play against in Mile High in Denver, and Patriots are pretty bad. So I like both of those combined.
Thank you. Hopefully we do well here, and then we were unable to do one last week because our Supreme Leader was not super prepared, but it's okay. He's not a weekly guy anymore. So we've got the return of our touchdown parlay, our just little joint touchdown parlay. As always, we did not count this towards our overall records. It's just fun. We usually just throw like $10 on it and see how we'll do. You've actually done pretty well. I'll count them up at the end of the season and let us know how much you would have won if you'd put up money on all of these. But currently we're 4-5, and usually we get these at plus 300 at least. We've cashed a few big ones here, like a plus 700 and a plus 800. But like I said, if you put $10 on every one of these, you should be up by the end of the year, hopefully. But yeah, I'll start with mine this week. And I'm going to Deebo Samuel. Shout out Chris Calamino. He's on his fantasy football roster. Strictly when I was looking for my touchdown roster, I'm playing my buddy Chris in fantasy, and he's the number 1 seed. So I straight picked somebody from his roster to score because I assume he's going to beat me. But I've got good reasoning for Deebo scoring this week as well. Deebo has scored in the last 3 games he's played in with a total of 5 touchdowns. 49ers are playing the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens secondary is very good. And the 49ers love to get the ball to Debo, whether it's a little jet sweep or throwing him down the middle. I think Debo's going to get this done and get an easy touchdown this week.
Yeah, I love it. Debo's been buzzing lately. They're feeding him the ball, and when they do that, good things happen. So, for mine, I'm going with a guy who absolutely dominates the Raiders, and that's Travis Kelce. He hasn't really had a ton of touchdowns this year, and I think he's due. I think, like I said earlier, well, I guess what you said, the Chiefs are on track to get the offense going, and that definitely starts with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce for a touchdown. So, not sure what the odds are on that. I'll have Gabe calculate that up for you right now.
Yep. So Travis Kelce was at plus 100, which is crazy value for Travis Kelce. I know he hasn't scored in a while, but Travis Kelce owns the Raiders. We should have pulled that split versus how many touchdowns he has in the last few games against the Raiders. But I feel like every time he plays the Raiders, he has at least one touchdown, if not more. But yeah, if you parlay these two guys together, you can get it at plus 320 on FanDuel. This week was the best sports book giving the best odds for these two guys. But yeah, I really like these two guys to score. Hopefully we can get back to 500 on the touchdown parlays. But feel good about these two guys this week. Blake, did you end up pulling that data?
So he hasn't scored versus the Raiders in 2 games, but the game before that was his 4 touchdown performance. So
okay,
he's clearly he's due. I mean, so yeah, the average is half a touchdown versus them. So coin flip.
Okay, that's still not bad. I still like it's Travis Kelce. They throw him the ball a lot. I think he had like 2 good opportunities to score last week, and he dropped both of them.
He did.
But yeah, hopefully we can get back in the win column, and as always, hopefully we can get this W. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we gonna be eating W's.
Hey,
shout out Jameis. He should be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Please excuse what my co-host did over there. Don't.
Now you don't like eating W's. Yeah, that'll wrap us up. Like I said, let's eat some W's this weekend. Let's have some good winning bets. Let's get some sweeps going. We're due.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. We'll see you guys next week. So, peace.
Yep, that'll wrap us up. Love it. See ya.